What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my Draftkings MMA picks for UFC Fight Night 172, Overeem versus Harris. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another fight card. It's going down May 16th in Jacksonville. I really like this card, especially compared to Wednesday's card. A lot of great fights on it. Wednesday's card went amazing for me, especially from a DraftKings standpoint. I got third place in a contest, took it third place by myself, didn't share it with anybody. I left over $1,000 salary on that lineup. Almost took first. I just needed to have Moises instead of Arlovski, but nonetheless, ended up getting third place, which is awesome. Cash hit for 2 weeks in a row, or 2 cards in a row. So once cash is hitting and getting top tens, that's just amazing. So 2 top tens in a row for me. Cash hit twice in a row, so it's been very good 2 days. Hopefully keep the momentum rolling into Saturday. Hopefully you guys are doing good as well. These cards have been definitely challenging. When I make my lineups, I like to play my favorite plays and hedge a little bit out, and which is what I did with Arlovski. Lins was a very popular play, so I did hedge out with some Arlovski and ended up helping me a lot. But really looking forward to this card. This card is really good from a DraftKings standpoint. I think there's gonna be lots of finishes. A couple fights on here I'm not really interested in, but other than that, I like a lot of the fights. But yeah, Mike Davis versus Giga Chikadze has been canceled, so that kind of sucks. There aren't really any free squares on this card, but I did think Mike Davis was a free square. I just really liked his chances against Chikadze, but that fight's probably going to get rescheduled. Don't think they're going to find an opponent for Chikadze. If they do, I will maybe make a video just going over that fight. But other than that, before we get started, if you guys can leave a like, also subscribe if you haven't yet. Really appreciate that. Make sure you also check out my Patreon. You can get all my content on there. Thank you guys for signing up. A lot of new people on there, so thank you guys for that. And with that said, let's get started. All right, as always, we're going to check out the fight does not go to decision lines here. Overeem Harris minus 485. Fight does not go to decision. Obviously, I want to say you want to go 100% on this fight, especially since there's 10 fights now. I am trying to find a way where this is not on the optimal lineup. Maybe Overeem is dominating all fight, and then Harris wins like in the 4th or 5th round with the knockout. Which is very possible, but other than that, 10 fights, I think I'm probably going to go 100% on this fight or really close to it. Maybe a couple lineups of that to be different, but the Mays versus Nascimento, I do think this fight's going to end inside the distance, whether it's maybe a Mays knockout or a Nascimento submission, but heavyweights play both sides. First fight of the night, I think I have a decent read on it, but it's very low level, so anything can happen. Brown Baeza, minus 230. Fight does not go to decision. I actually really do think this fight's going to finish well. Whether it's Matt Brown getting the finish or Baeza getting the finish, I do think someone's getting finished. So probably 100% in that fight. Very Yadong, minus 150. Fight does not go to decision. Another fight you want to target. Both these guys are finishers, so it's going to be really interesting when they face each other. Other than that, these are the fights that are most likely to end inside the distance, so these are the fights I'm going to be highest on. I can see myself going close to 100% on all these fights, especially on a 10-fight slate. Let's look at my core plays. Core plays are a little tricky for me this week. I have 2 underdogs in here, which I don't usually do. I usually like doing an underdog sometimes, but like there's not like a sure in play this week. I did think it was Mike Davis. Mike Davis isn't on the card anymore, but there's no sure in play, but Walt Harris, 8,700. It's Walt Harris versus Overeem's chin, basically. I picked Rosenstruck his last time. Overeem was winning the whole fight, and then with that, his last seconds, Rosenstruck knocked out Overeem, which was great for me because I actually faded Overeem. I don't know why I did. I just wanted to be really aggressive. I faded Overeem, went 100% Rosenstruck, and it ended up paying off. Don't know if I'm going to do that here. Walt Harris is very low output. It's just, if one of those hard shots touches Overeem's chin, I just see Overeem going down. Harris is going to have 5 rounds to do it. But Overeem, I do think that Overeem's the better fighter. It's just his chin is awful. He's been knocked out so many times. I think it's like 16, maybe more than that. But he's been knocked out so many times. Harris has power. We all know Harris, with his daughter situation, he's going to come out here, and he's going to be looking for that early finish. And he wants to, he has something to prove. So I like Harris quite a bit, 8,700. The thing that worries me, and this would be more if it was a 12-fight slate rather than a 10-fight slate, is Harris getting a third, fourth round knockout. Not much output, but I think he'll be fine. 8,700. If he gets any type of knockout, I think he'll end up on the optimal lineup. So, um, yeah, Harris. Like I said, I do think Overeem is a better fighter. I can see Overeem maybe getting this to the ground, and if you know Overeem took down Rosenstruck and didn't do much with that, so I think Harris will be okay. I think Overeem's losing losing some skill a little bit in the groundwork. Prime Overeem would have finished Rosenstruck on the ground easily. So Harris, I like. It's just gonna be playing both sides, but probably maybe like 60-40. Harris Overeem. Um, I really want to play. I really don't want to play Overeem, but you kind of got to on a 10 fight slate. All right, Anders, 7,600. The line is moving in. I can see this being a pick'em by fight time. I just think he lands the harder shots. I'm not a Jocko fan at all. I think Anders is the better fighter, more powerful, stronger. He's gonna have a strength advantage. Jocko's strong, but Anders is very, very strong. Power advantage. He's the more dangerous fighter. He's gonna probably throw more output, um, but Yako doesn't throw much at all. Neither of these guys throw much, but Anders does just a little bit more. So, 7,600, I'm liking that quite a bit. I had to make it a core play, especially with not much, 10 fights, 20 fighters, not much else. But I do like Anders 7,600. As for Yako, I'll get to it in a little bit, but I will not be playing Yako in my 20 max. Miguel Baeza 9,000. This play scares the crap out of me. We saw Wednesday Azure versus Kelleher. I'm getting that type of feeling, and Matt Brown is by far more dangerous than Kelleher, especially in the striking. I'm very surprised Kelleher was not able to knock out Azure. I thought Kelleher could possibly win by submission, but not a knockout. I mean, this play really scares me. Baez is going to be chalk. He's obviously probably the best or second best play on the slate, so he's going to be chalk, and for a good reason. But it's just really scaring me. Matt Brown has so much more experience. Matt Brown is very, very dangerous. He's vicious. I'm picking Baeza to win. I think this fight's pretty close, honestly. For him being 9,000, I think it's pretty close. But Baeza with those leg kicks, I think those leg kicks are going to be a huge factor in this fight. He has nasty, nasty leg kicks, and I think he can hurt those legs, chop the legs down to Matt Brown, end up finishing him. But you got to play both sides of this. I'm telling you, this fight's going to end inside the distance. Someone's getting finished. But I like Baeza, but I have a weird feeling about it. But if he wins, he's probably the best play on the slate. So give me a lot of Baeza, but I am going to hedge with Matt Brown. No way you can go 100% on this guy, especially get someone as dangerous as Matt Brown. Rodrigo Nascimento, 7,800. Another underdog play here. Heavyweight fight. First of all, I'm targeting both sides of this fight, but I like this Nascimento side even more. For one, I think the line's moving closer towards a pick'em, and maybe we see Nascimento as a favorite very soon. And two, it's heavyweight fight. Someone's getting finished. This fight's going to end up on the optimal lineup, especially with 10 fights. Whether it be a Mays knockout or a Nascimento submission, I've seen Mays taken down many, many, many times. Not much film on Nascimento, but he's very, very good at submissions. And if he gets Mays down, which I do think he can, I think he can get a submission. But on the feet, it could get a little dicey, and that's why I'm playing both sides. I think Mays could possibly get a knockout. But Nascimento looks very, very sharp on the ground. It's just, can he get it there? I think he can. Wasn't impressed with Mays' takedown defense at all. We've seen Mays submitted his last fight as well. So Nascimento, first fight of the night. Hopefully nobody plays this fight because, who are these guys? You know what I mean? Nobody's going to know who these guys are. First fight of the night. Nobody likes playing the first fight of the night, but I have been killing the first fight of the night with like Priscilla Cachoeira and plays like that. So hopefully get him low owned because this fight 100% I'll tell you right now is going to be on the winning lineup. I don't see how it's not. GBP Plays, Song Yadong 8,900. This is another play that really scares me. It really does. Marlon Vera is a finisher. Marlon Vera's never been finished, and that's what really scares me here. Both these guys are really good finishers. Yadong's very dangerous. I think Yadong's very strong, has very good takedown defense. I know we see him taken down by Stamen, but Stamen's a very, very good wrestler. I just see him stopping the takedowns from Vera mostly. Maybe Vera gets him down once, but I think Yadong can, get up. But yeah, I think Yadong is probably going to win by decision, but it's very close. I can see Vera, pulling out a win by a finish as well, because Vera has finished like what 5 of his fights in a row by finish, 4 or 5, something like that. He's on a 5-fight win streak. Vera's been looking really good, but this is a huge step up in competition for Vera, and that's why I like Yadong here. I think it's going to get a little bit dicey at times, but Yadong should win here. Probably one of my more confident plays on this 10-fight slate, which is a very tough slate. Last one was tough with 10 fights as well, but been killing the smaller slate. So hopefully, I'm going to be playing some Yadong. Also play both sides, but Yadong's the preferred play here. Darren Elkins 8,300. Landwehr, I think you can take Landwehr down. If he comes out here with a smart game plan, takes Landwehr down, I think it can possibly finish Landwehr by a submission, or maybe knock him out on the ground and pound. But if it's standing, just Elkins' chin has not been the best lately. He's usually very tough. I think he's only been finished like twice in his career. So he is a pretty tough guy. It's just, I don't know. Landwehr hits very hard. Landwehr is very good on the feet. It's just, I think Elkins going to be able to get him down. Takedowns, maybe some advances. Landwehr is not very good on the ground, so I think he can definitely rack up some of those ground points, advances, takedowns, all that. So maybe possible submission as well. So I like Elkins quite a bit. I think he's the better fighter by a good margin. It's just, is his chin going to hold up against a hard-hitting Landwehr? We'll find out playing both sides of it, but more Elkins. Dontel Mays, 8,400, went over it already. Heavyweight fight, someone's getting finished, whether it's a Mays knockout, which very well could happen. So heavyweight, both these guys hit hard. Mays is probably the better guy on the feet. Haven't seen much from Rogerio on the feet, but we have seen him on the ground. And if Mays gets taken down, I think it's going to be over shortly after. But if it stays on the feet, Mays can keep it upright. I think I like Mays' chances quite a bit, but I just don't. I see him getting taken down so many times. But you got to play him. It's a heavyweight. Kevin Holland, 8,200. How can you trust Kevin Holland? I mean, you can't. Very, very, very poor fight IQ. Very talented guy. Extremely talented guy. We saw him get submitted by Brandon Allen his last fight. I believe Holland's a black belt, so it really surprised me. But Hernandez did beat Brendan Allen in 2018. As we've seen, Brendan Allen beat Kevin Holland. So some MMA math for you. Doesn't always work out, but that's really impressive, and really, really impressive to me, because Brendan Allen looks very, very good. But yeah, Kevin Holland, 8,200. I think he has the advantage on the feet, but I just think he gets taken down too much. You cannot trust him here. But if he wins, maybe he gets some reversals and sweeps, maybe some takedowns himself, some significant strikes on the feet. I don't know if he's gonna finish Hernandez, but I just see Hernandez winning and getting takedowns here, but. Gonna be playing some Holland. I'm not in love with it at all, and you cannot trust him. Edson Barbosa, 8,500. Not in love with this play at the slightest. The only way I see him hitting value is getting a knockout, which it could happen. But Ige is very, very tough. I am actually picking Ige in this fight. I know this is a huge step down in competition for Barbosa, but I just think he's towards the end of his career. He's moving down in weight. I just don't like his chances here. This line is pretty close for him being an 8,500 favorite. If he wins, I think it's going to be a close decision. But other than that, I don't really see him knocking out Ige. Maybe he does, but for that reason, I'll have a little bit. But Barbosa doesn't really score much if he doesn't get the finish. So if this was a 12-fight slate, I'd probably honestly fade Barbosa here. But since it's not, I'm going to be playing a little bit, but just not in love with that play at all. All right, live dogs, we talked about it. Dan Ige, don't think he's going to be able to get takedowns. Maybe he gets 1 or 2. I don't think he's going to be getting a lot of takedowns. Barbosa has very, very, very good takedown defense. I can see Ige winning a very, very close decision here. Don't know how much it's going to score, but some significant strikes, maybe a takedown. I think it's going to be tough to get a takedown, but maybe he gets one. And I just think with not many fights, we've seen it on the Wednesday's card, with not many fights on the card, you can score 55 and end up on the optimal lineup. Like Rothwell scored really low. Arvlosky scored really low. I think one of those guys are on the winning lineup. I forget which one. But yeah, I can see Ige winning a decision, scoring like 70, and that might be enough to be on the optimal lineup. So I don't mind that. I think Barbosa's on his way out in his career, so give me some Dan Ige. But the upside is probably limited there. Don't see him really finishing Barbosa unless he comes out there, tries to take his head off, closes the distance, which very well could. And could be a bad weight cut for Barbosa. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see him on the scales as well. Overeem, I think he's a better fighter here. It's just his chin, It's so hard to play a guy like Overeem. I didn't play any of him his last fight against Rosenstruck, but I can definitely feel for the people that did, winning the whole fight and then just the final seconds getting knocked out. Harris has 5 rounds to work with. Harris is a tough guy. Maybe Overeem takes him down and ground and pounds him or submits him. I just don't really see it happening. Prime Overeem, give me Overeem all day. Just at this point in his career, I can't play much of him. So maybe 60-40, maybe 70-30 Harris in favor of Harris, but don't really love the Overeem play, but you gotta play him a little bit. Nate Landwehr, just in case he gets a knockout on Elkins. We've seen Elkins knocked out before. It's just his takedown defense worries me. His ground game worries me. But he hits hard. He comes to fight. He's gonna fight for your money. So 7,900 is not a bad play at all. Mauro Romero Barella 7,400. Like I said, you don't need 10 fights. You don't need to score. Every fighter doesn't need to score 100 points to end up on the up to lineup. We saw that Wednesday. Barella, I think she can win. I think she can get some takedowns. First of all, I think both these girls are awful, but I think Barella can definitely take down Casey. Casey's like a 38% takedown defense, so get a takedown each round, land some ground and pound, some advances maybe, and score 75 points. Maybe it's enough for optimal hit value. But I'm not in love with it at all. Honestly, if this was 12-fight slate, I'd be fading this fight 100%. Wouldn't even think about it, but since it's 10 fights, you really got to look into these. So I'm going to be playing some Barella, sadly. Anthony Hernandez, 8,000. I think he can get takedowns whenever he wants. Holland can be taken down pretty easy. Maybe some advances. And I think Holland's IQ is very bad. I think he can give up some position on the mat. And I think he might even be able to get submitted by Hernandez as well. But yeah, Holland's a black belt, but I just don't like his IQ. If it's on the feet the whole time, I like Holland, but I think it's going to go to the ground. I'm pretty sure about that. So, yeah, give me Hernandez at 8,000. Actually, really like that play for the takedown upside, advanced upside. Hopefully, comes in here with a good game plan. He scored like 130 his last fight as well, which was pretty crazy. Punt plays, Marlon Vera, 7,300. You gotta play him here. He's a very tough guy, but I'm picking Song to win, but I think Vera has a very good chance here. I would not be surprised if Vera won. I would not be surprised if Matt Brown won. So tread lightly on those big favorites. Baez is going to be chalk. He's going to probably be the first or second highest owned fighter there. So if you want to hedge with some Matt Brown, I'm definitely playing Matt Brown. Very dangerous. We've seen Hunter Azure, undefeated, coming in, gets knocked out by Kelleher. I'm just getting one of that feeling here of another veteran, Matt Brown. He's way more dangerous than Kelleher as well. So, but I am expecting Baez and Song to win, but I'm going to play some of these Veras and Browns just in case. Angela Hill, not in love with it all. I think Claudia's going to take her down, probably dominate that first round. But if Claudia gets tired, Hill can maybe take over later in the fight, mid-fight, third round. I just see Hill losing a decision. Don't think she's going to score much. I think she's going to be on her back. Doesn't have very good takedown defense. She has improved a lot, but when this is on the feet, I got Hill all day, but I do think it's going to go to the ground at some point. Maybe Claudia comes out here and tries to keep this on the feet just to save some energy. That would favor Hill quite a bit. I like Hill when it's on the feet, but on the ground, Claudia just has such an advantage, and I'm really worried that Hill might get submitted here, and hopefully that does not happen. But Hill has improved a lot, so anything can happen. But Hill probably more of a cash play. Don't really see her winning unless she takes over. I don't see her getting a knockout, a submission, nothing like that. So not in love with that Hill play, but more of a cash option. Fades, Claudia Gadelia, no way I'm playing her at 9,100. I don't care if it's on a 10-fight slate. Maybe a couple, that's about it. Jotko, 8,600. Don't see him knocking out Anders. He doesn't really have many knockouts in his career. Not really a power guy. Low volume. Probably not many takedowns. Maybe I'll try to take down Anders. Don't think he will. Anders is very strong. Just don't see how he pays out the 8,600. I can see him, if he wins, scoring like 50. So don't really love Jotko there at 8,600. Courtney Casey, no way. I'm playing her at 8,800. Just no way. I think Burrell is probably going to win as well. So no way I'm playing Casey. Alright guys, that's about it. Become a member of my Patreon and receive full access to my model, customizable optimizer, premium projections, GBP lineup percentages, premium breakdown and strategy video, example cash lineup, and more. Been very hot lately. A lot of people signed up already. So if you have not, make sure you do it. I put the cheapest price out there and I try to give you guys the best value possible. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Also subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd really appreciate that. And if you guys are into NASCAR, NASCAR stuff is on my Patreon as well. Going to be doing that. $5, basically the same stuff you see here. Probably the best price out there, $5. That's about $125 per race. Posted a NASCAR video. Go check that out. Make sure you give this video a like. Also subscribe if you haven't yet. And let's get it. Let's win some more money. 2 top 10s in a row for me. Let's make it 3. These cards have been tough. I'm not going to lie. They've been very tough. But really looking forward to this card here. It's a really good card. Although it's 10 fights, it's still going to be a really good card with some finishes. So good luck, everybody.